Sometimes, doing the right thing can lead to dangerous consequences. But what if the person you helped wasn't who you thought they were? This is the story of David Monroe. He lost his job for helping a homeless man. But what followed was far worse than unemployment. Because this homeless man had secrets, and they were deadly. David Monroe, 37, was the kind of guy who still believed in second chances. Working as a night shift warehouse supervisor at Eagle Ridge Supplies in St. Louis, Missouri, he lived a quiet life. No drama. Just clock in, work hard, clock out. One snowy January night, David spotted a man curled up behind the dumpster outside the warehouse. Shivering. His face half covered with grime and exhaustion. David hesitated. Company policy was strict, no unauthorized persons on site. But something in him couldn't just walk away. He handed the man his coffee, pulled an extra coat from his car trunk, and brought him into the back storage hallway to warm up for a bit. "What's your name?" David asked. The man mumbled, "Miles." "Just Miles." He looked rough, like someone who hadn't been inside for days. David gave him a sandwich from the vending machine and told him he had to leave before the cameras picked anything up. It felt good. The right thing to do. Until 3 days later, HR called him in. David sat stiff in front of Emily Sandoval, the HR manager, and Todd Beck, the regional director. "You violated protocol," Emily said. "You let a stranger into a secured warehouse. No background check. No safety clearance. I was just helping him." "He was freezing, we have cameras," Todd cut in. "And we found empty inventory boxes near the back dock. Some missing products." David's stomach dropped. "You think he stole them?" "Whether or not he did, you're responsible for letting him in." David was fired on the spot. No severance. No warning. Just escorted out by security like a criminal. He walked to his car in disbelief, wondering if compassion had just ruined his life. But the worst part? That wasn't the last time he'd see Miles. Weeks passed. David struggled to find work. The logistics world was small, and news of his firing traveled fast. Bills piled up. He pawned his laptop, then his watch. One night, while walking home from a local diner where he had applied for dishwashing work, he saw Miles again. But something was off. He wasn't shivering anymore. He wore new sneakers, a leather jacket, and he wasn't alone. He was laughing with 2 younger men outside a liquor store, exchanging something quickly from his pocket. It looked like a drug deal. David froze. Was Miles even homeless? 2 nights later, David's ex-coworker, Carlos Hernandez, reached out in a panic. "You remember that guy you helped? That a Miles guy?" Carlos whispered. "I think something's going on. Some inventory has gone missing again." Same exact section. David sat up. Carlos continued, "We caught a guy on camera last night sneaking in through the same back entrance. It looked like Miles, but security can't confirm. Then today, someone found Todd Beck's car smashed in an alley. He's missing." "What?" David breathed. "Gone. Without a trace." Todd Beck, regional director, the man who fired David, vanished overnight. The police found blood on the driver's seat. No body. That same week, security footage showed someone tampering with warehouse alarms. It wasn't long before the rumors started flying. Miles wasn't just some random homeless guy, he was running something darker behind the scenes. David, now desperate to clear his name and haunted by guilt, decided to investigate on his own. He remembered that Miles had a strange tattoo on his hand, a faded Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail. Carlos confirmed seeing the same symbol on the hand of the man caught in the blurry warehouse footage. David went to the police with what he knew, but they dismissed him. So he took matters into his own hands. He started going to local shelters, soup kitchens, and alleyways downtown, asking about Miles. That's when a social worker recognized the name. "Miles Garner," she said. "Yeah, that guy's bad news. Used to run with a gang out of Chicago, drugs, robbery, even tied to a murder case a few years ago. Disappeared. You say you saw him here? David felt the air leave his lungs. He hadn't helped a desperate man. He had led a fugitive inside a warehouse. And the man who fired him? Possibly murdered. 2 months later, David woke up to banging at his apartment door. Detectives. They brought him in for questioning. It turned out the items stolen from Eagle Ridge Supplies were being resold online, shipped across state lines. The packages? Traced back to a storage unit rented under David Monroe's name. David was stunned. I didn't rent any storage unit. But someone had. With his stolen ID and a forged signature. The trap had been set long before. And it worked. David was arrested for conspiracy to commit theft and obstruction of justice. Even though there was no hard evidence tying him directly to the robbery, the circumstantial evidence, and the fact that he helped Miles, was enough. In court, David pleaded not guilty. But the prosecution painted him as an insider who helped his friend Miles access the building. They never found Miles again. David was sentenced to 3 years in prison. David Monroe made a mistake. He saw someone in need and offered help. But in doing so, he gave a ghost access to his life, his workplace, and his freedom. And while David sits behind bars, the man he helped, the one he trusted, remains out there, free, untraceable. They say karma strikes back. But sometimes, it strikes the wrong person.